I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet, moist, every single time they think of you, and your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. Okay? How to 10 times your results with your imaginal acts. Okay? So I wanted to make this video about manifesting with visualization, with imaginal acts, because I was thinking about this just today. There are many different ways to visualize, right? But one of the aspects that I've noticed is that, and I'm just going to cut right to the chase, when you, for example, are trying to manifest SP, right? Like 99 fucking percent of you guys, right? When you're trying to manifest SP and you are doing the imaginal acts, what I honestly have noticed with clients of mine, other manifestation coaches, clients have said this as well. But what I've noticed is that the exact thing that you are imagining in your scene could be what is either A, making it take more longer, or B, manifesting something else on accident. Okay, and I'll give you an example, right? So I heard of a girl, I remember I saw a video of one of my favorite YouTubers, Joseph Alai. He has a great manifestation channel called Systematic Manifesting with Joseph Alai, right? I think he's fixing to hit 100,000 subscribers. Well, he said that he had a client that was trying to lose weight, and she was having this imaginal act where she was at the gym weighing herself on the scale and looking at it to be her desired weight, right? But she noticed that after she did this imaginal act and tried her very best to impress the subconscious, she noticed that there was like no results at all, right? Like not even any movement. And when she told Joseph about this, he asked her, okay, well, what was your imaginal act? And when she told him that it was her at the gym checking her weight on the scale, because she gave him a whole backstory, a whole biography, just like many of these manifestation coaches will request, because he knew that she didn't like to go to the gym, he asked herself, well, why is it that you, if you don't like to go to the gym and don't feel comfortable going to the gym, why are you imagining that all of a sudden you're at the gym checking yourself on the scale? And the amount, or excuse me, the weight that she imagined her to be, I think was like 135, something like that. And I think she was, you know, trying to lose about, she didn't have a desired weight, right? She just wanted to look slimmer, right? But I think she was like in her 160s on the weight scale, right? But in the imaginal act, she imagined that she was like 132, right? Well, if any of you guys have known anything about losing weight, I remember I once lost 50 pounds in a single year, right? Without fucking cocaine. It was phenomenal, right? And one thing I know about losing weight is that you could say you want to lose 30 pounds, right? But you don't know exactly your biometric mass or whatever. Everybody's body is different. What losing 10 pounds for you might look completely different for another person when they lose 10 pounds, right? So she was thinking that she wanted to lose 20 pounds, right? But on top of that, she imagined that she was checking her weight at the gym. So what am I getting at with all this? Well, Joseph told her, if you don't want to go to the gym, if you are not comfortable going to the gym, if you haven't fucking ever stepped foot in a gymnasium, period, why are you all of a sudden trying to make an imaginal act with your end result in an environment that you are not accustomed to? Because what that means is that, sure, that will manifest eventually, but instead of it just being that you're losing weight, you not only have to lose weight, but you're also trying to shift to the reality where you have to have the motivation to go to the gym. And then on top of that, because you were so specific and in your imaginal act, it has to be 135 that you're now going to weigh, where you have to lose 20 pounds, when maybe if you were to just lose 5 or 10, you would feel great and a lot better, because even 5 or 10 pounds is definitely a huge difference, right? Because she was so specific, she actually made the manifesting process a lot more longer and difficult. And so what I suggest, and this is going to be me getting to the fucking point after giving you a whole fucking Avengers Endgame right there, right? What I would suggest is that instead of trying to be so specific with your imaginal acts, right? Instead of trying to say, well, I want to get married, and I keep my imaginal act is that we are in fucking Spain and that it's raining, and that me and her are doing like a little fucking notebook scene, and then my mom is over there in the background mad because we decided to have the wedding outdoors, and it's just it just feels like home, right? When in reality, you could just fucking imagine both of you guys going like this, and then there's a fucking engagement ring on your ring finger, motherfuckers. And you just loop that shit. You don't even have to fucking see the face. You just simply loop that shit, and the simplicity of it all makes it more easier, A, to visualize in detail, and B, you don't have to worry about all the fucking parts that have to move in order for you to not just only get married to your SB, but to have it in fucking outdoors in Spain, and it has to be a fucking notebook scene. Do you realize all the shit that has to happen in order for you to get that exact scene? So again, I keep fucking not getting to the point. What I would suggest you guys do is to ask you one fucking question. What is it that I really want, right? Because I'll give you an example. There was a woman who, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of women who I can say had this similar circumstance, but there was a woman who I dated her friend before she came into the social circle, right? But low-key, I kind of found her, I found her more attractive than her friend. She was a lot taller. You know, she had those volleyball legs. Oh my gosh. I mean, just don't fucking get me started, bitch. But long story short, she would not even fucking look my way sometimes when she was in proximity, right? But because I wanted to, you know, manifest her during this period of me kind of like experimenting with Neville Goddard and shit, I would imagine her like madly in love with me, right? And I would imagine me and her basically going out on dates and being all cute with each other. But that would have been so far away from where she was in the 3D. Like in the 3D, she would not even fucking look my way. She didn't know much about me, right? I mean, imagine all the shit that would have to happen between you and a girl who hated your guts practically because she thought you were a player. And on top of that, you haven't even, you know, I mean, talk about going to first base. I didn't even show up to the fucking stadium yet, right? I was all the way in fucking across the fucking universe, right? Well, yeah, long story short, I would notice that I would do all these imaginal acts where we were in love, but there was just something that was telling me, like, you know what? This might fucking take a while if I'm really being honest with myself. And I had to ask myself, I'm like, what is it that I really want? Do I actually really want a relationship with her, or do I just kind of want to have sex with her? I just had to ask myself that question. And I actually, though I really liked the idea of her in love with me and her chasing me and, you know, me just kind of being like, you know, and just like whatever, right? You know, Take it or leave it, bitch, right? I liked that idea, don't get me wrong, but if I really was honest with myself, there was other girls that I was still interested in, and I kind of just liked the idea of a physical thing with her, like a hookup thing, right? AKA a fuck buddy, right? And when I looked at it like that, I not only realized, okay, well, why not just imagine that we're fuck buddies? On top of that, I took it a step further. I said, okay, well, if my imaginal act is elongating this process, and that's the reason why I haven't seen any fucking signs, because the seeds and fucking neutrons of DNA that had to formulate in order to make this, slow process of her going from thinking I'm a player to all of a sudden being madly in love with me on the opposite side of the fucking spectrum. I told myself, why not just affirm that all women who hate my fucking guts and who are jealous because I'm a fucking player, they deep down are always available for a booty call. I said something like that, right? Basically, I made the implication through imaginal acts. Instead of it being that she's madly in love with me, I said that even women who hate my fucking guts are always down to fuck. Because I started thinking, okay, wait a second. Why do our imaginal acts have to be politically correct? If we are, because look, naturally, I'm now in a relationship, okay? But before that, I was okay with just, fucking around, if I'm being honest with you, right? And that's how it was with a lot of my SPs. Actually, about a good 99.999% of them, I actually could give a shit either way, right? But when I made that little tweak and just asked myself, what is it that I really wanted? I started, not only figuring out what my true desire was, but I actually started to approach imaginal acts a lot more efficiently. And the efficiency, of course, was in that I was getting creative with this, okay? Because a lot of you guys think that, okay, well, my SP is across the world. I'm over here 2,000 miles away, and I'm trying to, long distance them, right? Well, instead of telling yourself that my SP is willing to, fly 4,000 miles across the globe in order to be with me, right? But in reality, you are okay with waiting in the process for them to get the passport and get the money in order to come see you. But right now, all they can do is maybe see you once a month. If that's something that you genuinely are okay with, and you're okay with that, as opposed to them fucking blocking you on all platforms, then why not just say that me and my SP have the best long distance relationship of all time? Because look, you guys can start out as long distance, but things can get really deep, and then they can come and start thinking about moving in with you and coming across the globe 4,000 miles away. But you guys want everything fucking perfect. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because what have all we manifestation coaches have been telling you? Think in the end. But what I love about my channel is that I am not going to just tell you what everybody else is telling you. If I know that there's a way that you can get your fix, okay? Look, let's be honest with that. Let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of these desires that we're thinking about, it's almost like a fucking drug, okay? We're all addicts. We all want our little toys. We all want our little cute SP. We just want to fucking just, fuck them and smell their fucking cologne and their perfume and, fondle on their tits, and you women want to just suck the living shit out of their ball hairs, right? If we're being honest with you ourselves, yeah, we would love for a marriage to happen in the white picket fence, but even if they were just to fucking be here with us, right? And then all that other stuff comes later, right? Another way to look at it is manifesting in steps, right? If it's really something, if you are really in a situation where there's a lot of things to go through, a lot of steps that need to be taken in order for you to have your end result, and you're okay with that process, then why not just focus on that? Especially if you are one of those motherfuckers who is always tempted to check the 3D and becomes impatient, right? To go back to that girl who I was manifesting, and I shifted from trying to make her in love with me to saying that even women who hate my guts love me. Well, I noticed a huge change in her behavior. A huge change. It was so obvious that she had a big crush on me and was trying to hide it. Because, look, one thing about Neil Arthos, ladies and gentlemen, is that every single time that a woman and I hooked up, whether it was in a serious relationship or whether it was just friends with benefits, they always showed the same type of facial expressions, the same type of flirting, the same type of giddiness and laugh, and, you know, always wanting to be within my proximity, and the same little giggle, and the way that they would accidentally bump into me, right, when there's clearly plenty of fucking space for them to be in their own personal bubble, right? All of them 100,000% of the time would act the same way. And I'm just going to give this girl a fake name. Daria, Daria was no exception, okay? She started to act the same way that all the women in my past who I had a situationship / committed relationship with would behave in the beginning, right? Now, with her, we never ended up going out of our way to do anything because she ended up having to move, right? But even the simple fact that she started chasing me and she started giving me attention, which, by the way, I wasn't initiating contact with her. I wasn't bugging her on social media. I wasn't trying to do the whole, let me go up and talk to her, like Peter Parker trying to, Harry's trying to tell Peter to finally get the balls to talk to Mary Jane. No, dude. Okay? I'm talking like out of nowhere, out of the fucking blue. She just started doing a 360 in her fucking attitude towards me, man. And this is the crazy part, is she knew about my past, right? There was a lot of girls, if I'm being straight up honest, that know about my past, that know about how much of a fucking player I am, and they hate my fucking guts. They're disgusted by me. Well, actually, even me saying that is an affirmation. I actually, even though I just said that, deep down, I truly believe that they're not even disgusted by me, because most of them, I kind of just blew them off for somebody else, right? Even though I was strictly clear in the beginning that we were not an actual thing and that I don't want them to get fucking, attached or whatever. But, anger, frustration, hatred is not a sign of somebody who doesn't feel anything for you. A true person who really could give a shit less is indifferent, and they could care if you fucking, left them for 50 other women. They could give two shits. If they really didn't care about you, they wouldn't fucking be feeling that jealousy and that boiling anger, right? But I digress. But the point I'm trying to make, guys, is ask yourself, what is it that you really want, okay? And then you can approach your imaginal acts like that, okay? And if you guys have questions about how to approach my imaginal acts, I have so many fucking videos talking about that. I would suggest at the top of my head, because I have like 1 billion fucking videos at this point, 100 million subscribers, the Mr. Beast of manifestation coaches, I would suggest you look up the video on my channel called Thought Transmission Makes Her Horny. Okay? A fucking Shakespearean of a title, I might add. But yeah, guys, just ask yourself, what is it that I really want? And you might realize that there is a more unique way you can approach your imaginal act rather than just doing the politically correct thing and saying, well, this manifestation coach says that she has to be madly in love with me because we're love. We are beauty. We're butterflies. Okay, I guess we gotta get fucking married now. I now pronounce you, just, if you just want to fuck, then, like I said, there are people who will fuck people because it turns them on of how much they fucking hate them. Okay? Yes. And when I realized that, I was like, dude, I almost saw like a whole portal of different realities open up before me when I realized like that. I literally felt like, and as a matter of fact, I remember making that video about this same topic. I was wearing a green shirt, green cap, and I was fucking on the opposite side of this parking lot that I'm in right now. It's fucking crazy. So yeah, guys, there are so many different ways you can approach what you want, and sometimes you might realize that what you think you want is really just attention. It's really just that, like, I have a client of mine who, she deep down has told me that she's not necessarily 100% fixated on this SP. If he comes back, great. If not, she just wants a guy similar to him because her SP, that her ex, I should say, was her taste in men, right? If he comes back, great. But she said that even if she was with somebody else, there's a part of her that would want that attention from her ex. And I've noticed this too in myself. If I'm being honest with myself, there's some exes of mine who I could really give a shit if we ever get back together. And if she says, oh, I love you, Neo, I miss you so much. But there's a part of me that would love for the tables to turn and for them to break no contact and say, you know what? I don't know what it is, but I just can't stop thinking about you. And me having to be the one to decide if I want them back or not, right? Even if that's something that you want, but you could give two shits whether they come back or not, just manifest them coming back to you and you just being like, we'll see. And then when that happens, you can decide when it actually occurs in the 3D reality if you want to actually pursue something with them, right? So let me know if you guys have any questions. Book a consultation call with me, or you can do the monthly text messaging. Hopefully by this time that this video is posted, I finally have that enlisted. If not, you can email me at neolarthosthegod@gmail.com and we can set up something so that way I can book you, because Jesus Christ, you guys are fucking blowing up my fucking inbox, so much so that Gmail, I just opened that email and now all of a sudden I need to buy another gigatron of memory for that fucking email. Fuck you guys, but I love you all at the same time. So either ways, with all that said, I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I Am Awareness had to say, and I know you're gonna be okay.